What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. We're live every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. And trust me, this is a big one. Why is it a big one? I'll give you a little bit of a story and then I'm done. And then I'm going to take it to break, turn my lights on. I watched Celsius go to zero. I watched Terra Luna go to zero. I watched everyone say it was going to go to zero before it went to zero because of these exact metrics that are very easy to predict when they're centralized because humans just don't switch it up too much. And big corporations, same, like they kind of keep it to the same mold, like what they can get away with, they will push. Anyway, FTX has halted withdrawals. What does that mean? That means GRC thinks it's over. I think there is no more trust in there. Today is election day. That has something to do with something, I'm telling you. And I'm not saying directly, more indirectly. But it's interesting, and I want to talk to Sam about the elections as well as they intertwine all this, more so at the end. We got FTX. What did CZ say on Twitter? You went behind our backs. You funded the Democrats. You threw us under the bus. We're out. But don't get it twisted for 1 second. FTX going for zero has negative implications galore for many different, even Binance. I'm telling you, it's that deep with FTX. I'm not talking about FTT. I'm talking about people that have money on FTX and then the liquidity gets to a certain point and boom, they're not eligible to take it out anymore. And then they actually halt the withdrawals. Oh, but let's squeeze a couple in. You know what I'm saying? So look at this, guys. Hey, all. And remember, we watched all the stuff yesterday, guys, about we got all the money in the world, or we got all this, that. Everyone's a good friend here. Hey, all. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX. Hey, all. I have a few announcements to make. Things have come full circle. Oh, wow. Really? You've been on a media run lately. Interesting. Things have come full circle, and FTX.com's first and last investors are the same. We come to an agreement on a strategic transaction with Binance for FTX.com. That means there was no one else but the people that invested initially in the pool via everyone else that had any money in it either had zero or took it out. Our team are working on clearing out the withdrawal backlog as is. This will clear out liquidity crutches. All assets will be covered one-to-one. This is one of the main reasons we've asked Binance to come in. LOL. It may take a bit to settle ETC. We apologize for that. But the important thing is that customers are protected. Oh my God. It is Alex Mashinsky verbatim. Oh my God, they say the exact same things. That's all you can say. That's all you can say. There's nothing else to say. That's the only sentence you can say. Like, wow, that means zero. Oh my God. No, it doesn't. That's not finance. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I know if this will go to zero. 4, a huge thank you to CZ Binance and all of the supporters. This is a user-centric development that benefits the entire industry. CZ has done and will continue to do an incredible job of building out the global crypto ecosystem and creating a freer economic world. 5, I know that there have been rumors in media of conflict between our two exchanges. You guys were the ones talking to each other. That's not a rumor. You both tweeted at each other. However, Binance has shown time and again that they are committed to more decentralized global economy while working to improve industry relations with regulators. We are in the best of hands. 6, note that FTX.US and Binance.US, 2 separate companies, are not currently impacted by this. Go ahead, guys. It's a good company deep down. Okay, so yes, if you use those in the US, it seems that they are not currently impacted by this. FTX US withdrawals have been live, is fully backed one-to-one as of right now. Don't trust a thing this little flip says, though. I'm telling you, I'll buy it at 50 cents on the FTT. Just kidding. I don't buy crap from that guy. And I'm only saying that because, man, you can't switch in 2 days, just like Mashinsky did, man. What a shame. I remember thinking, like, in the back of my head, man, we're hard on Mashinsky. What if he's actually doing the right thing? No. Wrong. What about Do Kwon? Federal indictment, prison. I don't know if he went, like, I don't know how that works with the rich dudes, but, they came to his door asking questions. And and he can't travel. And now we see all these founders. Can Legacy take out crypto? No, but it can do damage. That's for sure, guys. Crypto in the Morning Live every single day. We're going to be talking about FTT, FTX. It's election day 2022, guys. We're going to be talking about ETH, BTC. We're going to be talking about the SEC. There's big stuff happening right now. Protect yourselves, guys. If you're over leveraged, chill skis. DeFi Proof, the best DeFi rapper on the history of the planet.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
This is fascinating. So I'm actually going through and reading the people's response, because then you get an understanding of what's going on Sam Bankman's tweet here. And there's a screenshot literally posted 2 minutes ago. FTX US, not normal. Over an hour waiting, even though 7 minutes ago, Sam Bankman tweets out, note, FTX US and Binance US, two separate companies, are not currently impacted by this. FTX US's withdrawals are and have been live. This is not accurate. According to the chat here, this person said, hey, I've been waiting over an hour for their withdrawals to go through. And this is, there's a lot of not trusting people in the chat when you see that somebody's going to close the door to you taking your money and fucking with your shit.
If you guys are in here, we're being a little bit indirect, but FTX has stopped users from taking funds from their platform and doing anything with them. So you get to trade within the platform, get really good deals on some swaps inside the platform, but no, you do never get to cash out on that until, oh wait, they undo it and one person slips out, because that's all they have room to squeeze out. They're going to manipulate you. This is why centralized ownership as far as an exchange is absolutely garbage. It's the most garbage world of history thing. And yes, it probably has to exist to a certain degree forever-ish, for my ever, maybe like on and off, depending on how it kind of goes. But I will tell you what, I will
Seems like a thread from a lawyer to summarize. This is somebody paraphrasing on Sam Bankman's tweets that just came out. This is about 10 minutes ago that came out. And this guy's seems like a thread from a lawyer. To summarize, this dude is this paraphrasing. Without CZ and Binance, FTX and Alameda could be dead right now.
Okay, I'm going to play a 4-minute video. It's like a little news clip. Gather your thoughts. I also wouldn't mind if you pulled up Jack Levin's tweet. I think you're going to have 4 minutes to sit there. I'm going to pull up some stuff too. I want to pull up a couple teasers. This is just to get everyone that's kind of new or maybe not as exposed to cryptocurrency. Give them that 4 minutes of that see the FTX back and forth, so we don't really have to do that again. We will talk more about it, but we got the CNBC market alert guys here acting like absolute knuckleheads. So Yeah, this is going to tell you a little bit about CZ, a little bit about Binance, FTX Exchange, where that pressure comes from, what's kind of going on from this perspective. This will give some people a better idea of what's going on before we go forward into absolute Goblin Town, which we're going to talk about right after this. Because, guys, we are going into Goblin Town. Hex popped under like 2 cents, I think once or twice yesterday. And there were some Godwicks down, and there was a dude that spent $7,000 on a position that, emptied out 1/4 of the USDC pool. He spent, Sam, listen to those.
Wow, I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Yeah, think about those numbers, Sam, real quick. $7,000 they spent, and they took out of the major pair USDC 1/4 of it with, I think, like a little under or over 25% slippage.
So they sold
$2.5 million US dollar.
They sold 2.5 million hex.
No, they sold 2.5 million US dollar.
And they bought hex.
No, they sold their hex that they bought for 7,000 US dollar back in the day. I looked on.
So they sold $2.5 million for the hex.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's a nice big wick there.
Dude. People were like, they got ripped, and I was like, they didn't really.
And $500,000 worth of Libra.
Did they mint it or did they sell it too?
They sold it too. It's all on chain.
Son of a gun. I thought someone said they didn't sell it. Anyway,
no, it's all on chain. I verified it's on chain.
I don't want to talk about that yet. We are going to, don't you get it twisted. We are going to be talking about that. And me and Sam are on team 1 penny hex. We want it. And if us talking about it makes that happen, then I guess we want it.
What an exciting time, bro. What an exciting time to be in crypto.
I want 1 penny hex, dude. I don't even know what planet I'm on, dude. I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do anything. I want to learn. There's too many people making too many manipulative moves for me to even sleep hardly and keep up. But gosh darn it, I'll give it a shot for a few years. And me and Sam talked this morning, and we were like, hey, we got like 4 months of like straight work before we like go on a couple of vacays. And we were just like, yeah, let's do it. So it's going to be lit. I'm excited. Me and Sam are excited about one thing, working 24/7. Very odd. Crypto in the morning, very odd place to be. But you will learn everything, guys. Let's play this video, get a couple things prepped, share this stream out, guys. Make sure you're smashing the like button. We're just getting started today, guys. It's going to be a good one.
Bitcoin's another one. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are falling to lows not seen in a couple of weeks. The FTX token has fallen by double digits. The head of rival exchange Binance saying his firm would liquidate its holdings of that token, citing recent revelations. And as you may know, FTX chief Sam Bankman-Fried responded by saying his exchange is fine and has been the subject of false rumors, Jim. Solana down 20 is what they're referring to specifically.
Yeah, the FTT. I will say this. The opaque nature of this Binance versus Sam Bankman-Fried is, I find, disconcerting. The decline in some of these different currencies. Now you have, David, remember, Sam Bankman-Fried owns Alameda, right? And he also owns FTX.
Yes. Controls FTX. I'm sure he has some other investments.
And we don't.
I think CZ just made an extremely I'm going to read this real quick just in case I missed something. CZ tweeted, CZ Binance, this afternoon FTS asked for our help. There is a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a non-binding LOI intending to fully acquire FTX.com and help cover the liquidity crunch.
Wait. You gotta take this. We need to see that on the screen.
Yeah, no, I know. I just wanted to read it. It was legit because it just popped up and it made my like pants.
Wow.
He pretty much just announced
Dude, they
FTX.
bought it, dude. This is crazy live stuff.
Holy shit!
He just purchased FTX. That's pretty much what he announced.
I got it.
Wow.
Here, look.
This afternoon, FTX asked for our help. There's a significant liquidity crunch. Duh, they're not allowing you to take your money out. To protect users, we signed a non-binding LOI for if you don't know what that means, is letter of intent, intending to fully acquire FTX.com and to help cover the liquidity crunch. We will be conducting a full due diligence on the coming days. So go down a little bit further because it gets into it. There's a lot to cover and take some time. Here,
look at Richard. You won the Game of Thrones. All right, listen, read this one real quick.
There is a lot to cover and will take some time. This is 10 minutes ago, folks. This is a highly dynamic situation, and we are assessing the situation in real time. Binance has the discretion to pull out from the deal at any time. We expect FTT to be highly volatile in the coming days as things develop. What does SAFU mean? Stay safe, something. The next tweet down says stay, and then SA.
Stay safe. Who knows? Probably a meme coin.
Wow. This is
get people look, find out, F around, and then CZ.
Apple means secure future assets for users.
This is
look at CZ's pissed. It goes so far.
Oh man.
Sam, talk about this for a second. I'm gonna give you a minute or two. I just want you to talk. Don't pull anything up. Give me something. Come on. You know you have good perspective on this without looking at any articles. We know what happened. Literally, this just happened. CZ just bought FTX. They just said it.
Correct.
What does this mean, and what could this mean, and what does this, or does this mean much?
So I've watched and or listened to several CZ interviews and or podcasts. He comes across as very genuine, and that his intention is not to be the biggest player in crypto, but his intention is to grow the crypto space, where he actually says this in one of the interviews I listened to, that he wants to play a smaller part. He wants to foster the growth of the entire space, but doesn't want to be the person in charge of it, because then it's centralized. And he understands this. When you put this in contrast to SBF wants to control the space. He wants to be the one that has a chokehold that controls what is happening. And we're going through this time right now where Alameda, his hedge fund, probably over leveraged and is in the liquidity crunch. And because it's so closely tied with FTX,
CZ rugged them, told them, and then they went under, and then he bought them.
What a ninja business move, though, from a real
disgustingly, incredibly.
Here's another thing that I want to add to what Sam was talking about, how CZ said that he didn't want to control the whole thing. Well, something that comes with this acquisition as well is that he now owns Voyager as well. Because remember, FTX put in a bid for Voyager and that got approved. So Voyager is owned by FTX, and now Binance is owns FTX, and pretty much takes all that up with them, which is crazy.
I am hesitant to say Binance is going to follow through with this deal. We're not going to see it. They're going to follow through, as in like everybody else is going to see that Binance is buying FTX.com, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean
it feels like FTX is gone.
Yeah,
it more so feels like FTX is just gone.
Sam still gets to keep Alameda.
Probably.
No, most likely he will.
It's a
Sam's gonna take a big L.
So he's gonna try to like save himself through that and make some plays. But as far as FTX is concerned, that's Binance now.
A lot of trust involved in this game. Everyone trusted him. Everyone, dude. I'm telling you. Like even me, to like a half-ass degree, like was like, yeah, I don't think he's like down to rug right now. Like
it's crazy how he went from trying to nuke him to nope, I'm just gonna buy you out.
Well, that's what they call in basketball a Euro step and a slam dunk.
Yeah, he definitely did a Euro step.
He basically just made you look like a clown and then put it in your all the children in here.
So let's get this on here. So I just want to understand and position this for people. Sam Bankman-Fried tweeted that thread that you went through at the beginning 21 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago, CZ says that they're buying FTX.com. But in Sam Bankman says, hey, I have a few announcements to make. Things have come full circle, and FTX.com's first and last investors are the same. We have come to an agreement on a strategic transaction with Binance for FTX. This is what he said pending the due diligence.
All right, so let's take a second and think real quick. I'm going to go ahead. Bullish is probably pulling something up. And Bullish, I don't know why, but it sounds like you're.
I'm going to go ahead and say 12,000 BTC.
Well, 8.5 would be nice.
Correct.
8.5 would be great, dude. I watched a lot of. So last night I decided, you know what, I'm going to watch some YouTubers. Late last night, I kind of stayed up a little later. I'm just watching TA YouTubers. First of all, they're all the same, 100% garbage. They all said BTC was at the floor, 100%. And they all owned almost primarily only BTC. And it was disgusting. Frankly, if any of you guys are watching this show and you're trying to get people funneled into those trading groups, you can really get wrecked because you're an idiot and you're annoying, frankly. And all this TA stuff is really I used to call it pretend smart people stuff, but now I think it's the person thinks that they're smart and that they're actually being effective. But in reality, when the real bear market comes, your little triangles get smushy pooed and you run away and never come back because the triangles never had shit to do with nothing. It was about guys like this regurgitating funds into liquidity pools.
Oh man!
If you see something, make sure we pull it up.
Check out the chart for BNB.
Stop it! What is it?
It is up massively, 370.
Oh my God, it's 377. Are we about to go on a BNB bull run? Is my BNB P bags going to get freaking absolutely gorgeously glazed with nectar?
Bro, what an awesome, fun time to be in crypto.
Dude, I'm so stoked on it. Let's look at the chat for a second. Hex users unaffected by FTX. Yes, they are unaffected by FTX, but
that's not necessarily true.
Ethereum's on FTX. Bitcoin was not on FTX after yesterday. There was no Bitcoin on FTX.
And when things go atomic, it is systematic. It's FTX is growing and X users unaffected. That is absolutely incorrect because the market crashing is going to bring Hex down too. You don't think so? Well, watch your fucking bags. They will.
Yeah, and there's a lot of factors that are bringing Hex down right now, and I just want everyone to know I got no idea what's going to happen with Hex, but hold your freaking shit together and do not buy it without. I'm not saying you can't buy it, of course. I don't even think it's a horrible time to speculate. I'm saying protect yourself. If you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars and you potentially don't really have that much backup, you're making a really, really someone else's day much greater. That's the truth. I'm starting to say it that way instead of the other way, Sam. I used to say you're wrecking yourself, but now I'm saying you're making someone smarter than you today because you're just making a play that you just don't get.
Yes.
Every time, too. It's every time because they don't get it. So there's always someone trading in that moment. And then you have to understand that concept that if you're buying for a long-term hold, you have to hold that position whether it goes down or not sometimes. And maybe you have to buy back again, but you have to be prepared to do so. You can't just be all in. All this all in 555 Hex talk, all these guys, I don't hear them talking as much anymore. They don't have as many followers anymore. They don't get as much praise anymore. You won the Game of Thrones. Richard Hart finally comes out and says something. Big Pep yesterday came out and quit streaming. One of the first guys I ever watched stream, open-minded, just like us. He loves boobs. He loves guns. He's a nice dude. He works all the time. Quit. And he said, you know what? This was eating me up too much. Richard's been an asshole. I'm out.
That's fine.
And it was fine. But I'm saying that doesn't help price.
That's correct.
That's all I'm saying. Dude, I don't care. Dude, come on. You know me. I don't care about the whole bullshit. But you guys care price, right? And I kind of care price, for real. And another example was, Sam, and I'm just going to say this is done. I'm not going to mention any names. I was chit-chatting with a guy that had 30 million liquid Hex. Whether you think that's a lot or not a lot, that was his liquid bag. Richard had blocked him because he was doing something I guess he didn't like. He's a day one Hexagon. He's building stuff all over he's a cool dude. I don't know if he sold or bought. I'm not saying that at all. He can hodl that shit till the day he dies. I have no idea. But I'm saying shit gets sketchy when trust comes into play.
Well, here's the thing that we've all been looking for. you want to understand market sentiment to understand where things are going to be going. And GRC said that dude, whoever that person was that talks about Hex, is not going to be talking about Hex anymore. He said that there's probably one or two other people that are also not talking about Hex.
He said he felt like he was cleaning up for Richard while Richard bought Gucci sweaters. That's what he felt like. He said, I was cleaning up for him.
Well, he wasn't the only one, bro. Actually, for the past 30 days, there's been a few streamers who.
He's the only guy that I watch personally.
The idea is understanding sentiment. You have fuckers that are getting out of the market. That's bullish.
Solid dudes too. Dudes you'd like to hang out with, bro. Like this, like I'm telling you, Big Pep probably doesn't even know who the hell I am nor care. Because, you know, he's just a streamer. I don't talk with him too much. But I respected him because I felt like we related. I just didn't talk to him that much because I watched all his streams early on. But he would be like, I don't care about the BS. I don't care about what these guys' feelings are. Kept saying feelings. He's like, I'm not a feelings guy. I don't care about that shit. And I was like, yes. Like, damn. Like, this dude's great. Now he's quitting the team. Why? It's not mean he's not going to buy Hex. Doesn't mean he's not going to sell. Whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. What it means is they're fed the hell up that they felt like they were sold something and that it evaporated because I was trying to tell people that I felt like a lot of these things had to do with trust, and I still think they do, but I never over leveraged, so I don't really give a shit.
And this is where you have insolvency, right? FTX insolvent or close to insolvent. They're selling themselves to their competitor. You have Alameda, which is probably under liquidity crunch as well, so potentially insolvent. You have people in this community giving up because they're getting a little better. Then you have like markets down, just trending sideways. You have the elections happening today, and all this other stuff's going on. The more negativity, the more bullish I am. That's because you want things to just.
But it sucks. I know for you, Sam, because you're a killer with it sometimes, Sam. You know me, I'm a softie sometimes, bro. Like with it, like we're, you know, and not that he's not sometimes too, but I'm a softie with a lot of these guys community-wise. Like I like to see young guys that I know have a good time, learn, do things properly, not get effed over. And, you know, I never really over-leveraged myself. And I always made time for me to buy this. You know, so there was this, Sam, I'm going to show you this real quick. This is really, I think it's interesting. So yesterday, Sam, we were live, Sam. I was live when this God candle came on. So I got freaked out. No, I think we all were. No, I was with Jesse. It was after we got on. Jesse was live, and I saw the guy candle, and we all just stopped talking for like 5 minutes. We were like, "Oh shit, like something's going on." Like 2.5 mil. Like, is it going to happen again? Blah blah blah. But that was right here, okay. But I saw that morning. I said, "Oh, look at this." So I got a little under 2 buy. Remember, I said I had a little limit order. That was actually on this candle, and then it went sideways again. And then I was like, "Damn it, I bought right." No, I wasn't gonna buy again because darn, you know, like
that's super close into the 1.9 territory.
Well, that's where it hit. That was the limit order range that I think one guy pulled out, like a limit order at that. So interesting to note. But then you see this, and a lot of those guys will scoop half their bag right back up, right when it scoops back up, because they already know the sentiment of people when they see those things. And then, you know. So that was a crazy time. That is $7,000 turning into 2.5 million and dumping on market in 1/2 second. So it's important to understand that's pretty bullish, like, too, like, because guys like that are dipping. What I'm finding out is people are actually scared of stuff. Like I could care less. Like maybe I'm broken inside or something, or it's really smart, but I could care less. Like I would be happy to learn all of the information provided from these things going to zero, because frankly, when I get my back put against the wall, I usually work a little harder anyway. And I would be like happy to learn about why some of these things didn't structurally work, but instead everyone's scared that and then when these guys get scared, they leave. They actually quit. You're like, dude, we went sideways at 3 cents for 10 months. And now it's 3 cents.
I wouldn't even be surprised if we don't start seeing upward movement for 6-10 more months. I wouldn't be slightly surprised because there's a lot of stuff happening right now.
Can I get a couch spot, brother?
Huh?
If anything happens to me, brother, can I get a couch spot?
Right. We got extra space. Be prepared, guys. You over leverage and you have another 90% drop from where we're at, you're going to feel like shit. Pay attention and be prepared for these kinds of things. right now, if you're like, oh, I'm buying Hex, it's 3 cents, cool. You do you. But you go from 3.3.
No, don't say you do you, Sam. Tell them what you mean. Because people do that shit. They DCA for fucking 8 months straight while me and you are just like, yeah, I'm not going to tell them not to. I can't tell the future, but golly, can you guys get a grip? You're spending thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of US dollar over the last year. And that's what Sam's exactly alluding to. When these opportunities exist by definition, like eventually, like Richard's like 95% dumps happen with all coins almost guaranteed. Oh, okay. Let me DCA when it's 40% down for 8 months. It's like, get a grip. Like the guy, and I say get a grip, like I don't want people putting too much money because I see pain in people's hearts because they spent too much money on something and that they're feeling like they didn't get some sort of deal on it. And the fact of the matter is, none of this was ever a deal for anyone else but whoever takes the best advantage of it.
Just be prepared. If we're at 3.3 cents and you have a 70% drop, that's at a penny, right? So just be prepared mentally. If you've been DCAing all year and then you sit at 1 penny for 5 months and you put in $37,000 and now your $37,000 is worth $4 or $5 grand, like you have to mentally be prepared for these things because that is why most people fail at investing because they're not prepared for these gigantic moves. They're not prepared for the feelings, the
emotionally. It's just, I think 99% of the time, if people were 100 emotionally stoic, they would just have no problem dealing with this information.
Yes.
But nobody feels that way because they're all being ran, their lives are being ran by whoever the fuck's telling them what to do. I literally told someone that no one tells me what to do, and they called me like a narcissist for it. Like they were like, you need someone to tell you what to do. I was like, you're an asshole. Like, fuck you. Like, that's the worst. Sam, I want to highlight something, and I think this now, Sam, we have to be careful that we don't give any specifics about, just for the sake of like my OCD and stuff. Like, we're not supposed to talk directly about price ranges, which we never do. And we always say that's do your own research. This is not really financial advice, nor do I trade on this exact talk. Like depending on my laziness, like I get to my computer like right after or maybe later. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, this is the Hedron USDC chart, Sam. I want to highlight some things. And I want to highlight why I have a big bag of liquid Hedron and I have no liquid Hex. That's why I'm saying that's my little like
tell us why you think it is appropriate to have it, because I'm in the same.
No triangles will be drawn. I will not. I promise everyone here. Look me right in the face, people. No triangles needed for this one. Okay, we're back. Let's go. So
go ahead.
Basically here, all I see in Hedron is the same, if not less, downside. Sam. The same.
When you say downside, elaborate on the downside.
If we just looked at the Hex chart, right? That's why I kind of have the charts up, and we saw the Godwick, right? There was a little Godwick, right? And then it kind of went back and did it again, right? So it was like a little two-piece, whether it shakes out exactly the same. Well, this is more stable than that was. That one looked like a giant crater, and this just looks like another day in paradise for this chart. You know what I mean? Like that, if you look at the Hex chart, it looks like someone put a shotgun shell through it. And this one just looks like, look, yeah, another day in the park, really. Let's be real. I'm being real with this. And so if you think about this, less downside pressure. And this is why my buys just keep clicking on Hedron. I can't, and I'm not saying I haven't bought anything else, but I haven't bought Hex, but I have bought Hedron. And I'll tell you exactly why. Less downside pressure, less liquidity for real downside pressure. More news coming out in the future. HSI auctions. You guys know how people FOMO. That's no joke sometimes. So I'm not going to miss that if I could. And then it has lower liquidity. So by definition, as Hex runs anyway, this will proportionally move a little bit faster and further in a direct proportional kind of way. So there's way more upside potential. And at the liquidity range that I play in, this is fair game for me. So that's why I love Hedron.
Hedron's been having some big moves in the last like week or so, or just like several 24 hours, 48 hours. Like I've been paying attention to it, and it's been moving a lot. We're in this very interesting time because what if Alameda crashes and burns, at the same time, think about this. At the same time, we have these HSI auctions taking place. We have FTX crashing and burning. We have Alameda crashing and burning. And then the overall sentiment around that, because those things are happening, starts even being more bearish. At the same time, we have these auctions playing out. You might be able to grab some really, really, really good deals on either Hedron and or purchasing HSIs if that's your thing.
And another, yeah, Sam, 100%. And Sam, I want to go right back to the Hex USDC chart, and I'm going to show that one. Just try to look at this chart. Look at this chart for 1 second, and I'm going to click it right over. So remember this chart. We kind of looked at the last day with Hex USDC. So now let's go over. Now let's go over to Hex, and you'll see. Let's see how the liquidity's recovered. We got $1 million back from yesterday, Sam.
Jim, right? You should use the multi-chart option. You can have both of them side by side. Click on multi-chart.
How do you do that?
Right there on the left. Multi-chart under alerts.
Oh, stop it!
I've never seen this before.
Stop it! Oh, look, the only one I got saved is Zen USDC. Oh my God, I just totally doxed myself. Ooh, look at that God candle. That's the only thing I got on the save button. That means I'm playing.
Yeah, so you can add multiple charts and you can see them side
Well,
by side.
I will do that next time, but this is probably the last chart I'm going to pull up. But I'm going to play with that probably all day long. So
Thanks for that, Bush. That's interesting.
Thanks for that nugget. Look at that $40,000 buy that just came in, $52,000 buy that just came in. So guys are scooping. And again, Sam, sometimes I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let Sam talk, and I'm going to turn this chart down a little bit. So this chart has been very, very sideways for very, very long, Sam, right? Other than like really recently, right? Other than this little bump right here, it's been pretty much sideways on the back end. But what do you see with Hedron? Holding up 15x from the bottom because why? That area never existed. There was no sell buy pressure there because it really never existed, and it started pinning with the asset that Alex came up with already, and there was already a premium built in with the numbers. So it's crazy. But then if you look at Hex, basically, if you know that you're not going to sell more than $100,000, $50,000 of USDC, I think Hedron's a great option if you're just looking for something with more upside potential. Because if you see now, there's a lot of people that can take $7,000 buys and sell them for $2.5 million.
A lot of people.
Hedron, that does not exist yet because it can't, because there has not been enough price appreciation, whether you like it or not, whether you have every stake or not. So that's what I like.
No, explain it, because like people probably missed out on the sort of nuances of that. Hex has been out for 3 years almost at this point. And
it's been 1,000 in like 17 days or something like that.
Yeah, so it's coming up on 3 years, right? December's about a month away, right? So nearly, it's been 2 years and 11 months or something. Okay, and that's time for people to buy $7,000 worth of Hex, and even in a 90% dip, sell that $7,000 worth of Hex for $2.5 million. Great returns, right? You're like, good job for you, bud. Fantastic. You got out. Good for you. Now, that exact same thing does not exist with Hedron.
Unless they spent USDC to get it. Like they would just have to not have the premium. They got 7,000 USD turned into 2.5 million. That price appreciation takes time, whether any human likes it or not. Like it takes time. And what do you see? $2.5 million. So what do other people see? Look how wrecked he got on Hex. It's like, why don't we look a little closer on how wrecked he got on Hex for one quick little minute? Oh, okay. He did like 86,000% on a $7,000 probably shit, like, whatever credit card buy when he was 3 years back when he was, single. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. But then public sentiment turns and a lot of these guys get upset. Now, me and Sam don't care about the sell pressure, but we notice that others do. We love sell pressure because we like to have more, like we would rather this shit go to zero, but us get like potentially the most killer deal in history. Like we like that little risk ratio right there. And, that's what
your $12 turns into 6 million at the bottom, at the like lowest point in the market. Your $16 buy, your $160 buy, has 175x on it, and you know what I mean. It turns, or maybe 1,000x on it, and you turn that into $1 million.
Just know 20 million Zen on Ethereum is ever an expensive amount of money. That I bought that for $56. So we'll remember that, guys. Remember that in the future when I'm in a spaceship or something. So yeah, I'm going to be done with the charts now. But Sam, you see the immediate buy pressure. I'm sure Ethereum's trending up. Everything.
Do you want me to explain that in terms of a chart?
You can explain whatever the heck you want to do. But I am going to use the bathroom real quick, and I am listening.
Okay, I'm going to actually share my screen on here and talk about why this actually takes place.
Why what?
Why you see this come down and then the immediate buyback up here, and we're going to use it by looking at
this in other. This is probably classic McGruber, right? Like this is maybe not as volatile, but like classic kind of how things work and with weird news.
This is like if you know how you can kind of artificially drive the price up, then plunk a lot of fucking liquidity there, and then it takes, like, you can kind of almost force the price to be there, so to speak, if you have enough liquidity to do that with. Well, if you look at this chart, this looks a little lopsided, right? Like there's more data on the left side of the chart than there is on the right side of the chart.
Yeah, it looks like 50, 60, 70% more data on the left.
Yes. Okay, so let me actually.
Oh, and I just had a quick idea, Sam. We need to make a section every single day for 10 minutes where you look at LP charts. And then your whole, I got to think of the pair I want to talk about today. Like, could be just like the little 5 or 10 minutes that you kind of prep, because, every show you're like, do a little prep. That would be a good one. And then everyone would anticipate it and they could kind of do it with you, like see, kind of catch on your, you know what I'm saying? And I know you don't mind giving.
I love LP.
So I think that I'm going to write that down and talk about it after the show, like a 10-minute section where we're just really like, yes. But it's like, I love that when you pull these charts up, like you're the only guy in crypto that just like goes straight to this chart. I love it, but I'll be right back.
So this is, let's just describe what this is and then talk about why when there's a big sell-off, it immediately goes back up, and it has to do with liquidity. You're like, no, it's because it's a good deal. No, it has to do with liquidity. Let me explain. This is the V3 liquidity pool between Hedron and USDC. The chart we're looking at is a distribution of the LP, how it actually sits in the marketplace. So some people are providing liquidity across the range. All that blue data there is liquidity. So what does that mean? That means it's Hedron and USDC sitting there in the market, ready to be bought or sold. And when you look at this pool, there's about $8.4 million in this pool. Of that total pool, $1.6 million of that is USDC. So what does that mean? Well, that means you have about 80% of this pool is HEX waiting to be sold for USDC. Let me repeat that. You have about 80% of $8.4 million that is HEX waiting to be sold for USDC. Now, to get in why the price goes up, let's take a look at this chart. If you look over here, you see how there's a steep, drop, and there's no liquidity on this side over here. So that means if somebody were to sell down and the price goes over here where the mouse is, where this white line is, right? That was like yesterday. See right here how there's barely any liquidity? What does that mean? That means that $6 buy at HEX has slippage, which means that $6 buy can move the price. When there's no liquidity at all, a tiny trickle of demand is going to move the price. So that tiny
example from yesterday too,
and it just pushes it back into this thick slosh of liquidity.
So HEX, I can give you the example for HEX because I was playing with it when I was looking at it. When that buy came in, 25% slippage roughly. Could have been 28, could have been 24. I didn't look at it directly, but I looked at how much it took out. And then if you did the same exact buy, Sam, right afterwards, I just put it up on my screen and I just did the same buy on the same pair, 63% slippage. And that was right after it happened. So it was like, I was trying to see, what if he did it again, right? Like what kind of, You can't do it again. He got a killer deal. I'm sorry.
No, you can't.
I needed to say it. Like, it hurt me because I was like, man, he probably sold the bottom. What a wussy. And then I was like, damn, he did not do that. I was like, no.
This pool that was looking at the Hedron. I think I might have misspoken. Said it was Hex. This is the Hex pool. The other one was the Hedron USDC.
Oh, my bad.
No, it was my bad. I think I misspoke. I believe, not you. This pool again. There's 8.3 million. There's 2.5 million USD still. So it's a 75 to 25 ratio. Like 75% of what's in this pool is Hex waiting to be sold. In the other pool, it's Hedron waiting to be sold. Right. There's a steep drop off with a lot of data to the one side. That's the Hex waiting to be sold. In the other chart, that's the Hedron waiting to be sold. This is interesting data you guys should pay attention to understand liquidity and how liquidity works. And this liquidity is a dynamic thing, meaning depending on what's happening in the market, you can watch this change in real time. In real time, you'll be able to see the liquidity moving around the chart here.
He grew too fast, too high, too fast, too soon.
What's that?
Sam, if you don't mind, Sam, do you have 20? What do you got time?
If you want to pull something up, that's good. Yep.
Well, we got Banter going at it again, and he's live right now. And I love milking his work for every penny. And I'm just joking when I talk about Banter, of course, because he's funny and he lost all his money in Luna, and then it was just fine. But like he's probably he's a smart guy. He's well off. He has people that respect him and like him. You could tell. So like I don't think he's worrying about getting any dinner anytime soon. So we're gonna play this real quick. I'm going to rewind it just a hair to where I see some kind of cue. Yeah, there's the cue. Okay, so I'm getting good at that. So we're going to play this for a minute, Sam. Just please tell me to stop right away if you hear something that you like. Now, this is about as breaking as you can get. We're talking like within the last 20 minutes. So we want to hear what Banter and his little crew has to say, because I guarantee they have funds tied up in this. And this does have serious implications for other cryptocurrencies, including Binance. And I'm not all talking positive either. I'm not. I think there could be negatives like within the next 6 months, like is kind of more what I was thinking. Not like there's always news buys. But anyway, let's listen to this, guys. Shout out to Crypto Banter, even though he's a little bit of a shill. But we're trying to get the best info here. We're trying to learn everything. We're trying to stay open-minded. Please smash the like. Please hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to be live a lot. And I'm really excited. So I need to show.
An additional layer of systemic risk to the industry now that two big players, two big whales are now merging into one, and essentially Binance now becomes the major controlling force over crypto. Is this actually good for crypto? That's the question we have to ask ourselves.
Look, I don't think that any centralization or too many big players is a good thing for crypto. I don't think that's good for anybody, but I would say that I'm happy that it's in the hands of CZ as opposed to anyone else, because we could have had Wall Street bail out SBF and FTX. And I would rather have CZ than have Wall Street involved. But that said, too much power. You've now got CZ just consolidating again. One thing we haven't looked at yet, and, probably worth looking at is BNB. Because this has to do something to the BNB price. Let's look at the.
And funnily enough,
oh my goodness! Look at this! Look at this candle! Look at this candle, Miles! Look at this candle, bro! Look.
He looked at that shit beforehand. Come on, that was a fake out.
Look at this candle over here. Look at that! Look at that!
Jesus!
Wow! What is it? 361.
361. CZ consolidates
Did
power.
CZ directly buy back?
What is that? FTT?
No,
now
that's
got FTX and
Binance
Binance
bro. That's
actually
crazy.
in the hands of one.
We can't hear you if it's playing at the same time.
Binance token.
Oh, that's the Binance token. FTT, right?
It's Binance token.
Okay. Oh, BNB. Okay.
Yeah. So that's crazy for a big. That's a big asset. That's the most highly traded asset in crypto. 100%. You can look on front page of any screener. Anyone. What's going to be the first two pairs on there? BNB, BUSD, and BNB, whatever the other, whatever stable they use. So whatever other, I forget the way they do it, but they're the first two on every one because I always see it and I just go by it.
Player of one player.
I've been bullish on BNB for quite some time. I mean, we've been talking about it for, I think when it was like 200 to 250, we said we thought this would be a pretty good buy.
We were speaking about it today.
Yeah, even this morning.
Crazy. We spoke about it today and we said how we think that BNB is the value here. This is crazy. So if you've just joined us, this is what's happening. We all know about the bank run that was happening on FTX. And Miles, I'm going to bring you back in a sec. There was the bank run that was happening on FTX, a huge bank run that was happening on FTX. And obviously FTX couldn't keep up with what's going on. And now both SBF and CZ have come out with an announcement to tell us all that Binance is going to be taking over 100% on FTX. Now, if you read between the lines, what does that mean? It means that Alameda Research and FTX were insolvent. They were not liquid. They could not honor their obligations. And so they had to run to someone to rescue them. And who else to rescue them but CZ? Because he understands the industry and he was one of the original investors or one of the big investors in FTX. Now, a year ago, FTX, BNB, Binance, sold their stake in FTX. That's what they did. They sold their stake in FTX and they held the tokens. And what it looks like is that CZ, in a stroke of genius, you got to take your head off the guy. In a stroke of genius, he played the ultimate strategy by, after the Alameda Research balance sheet was leaked, and CZ realized that maybe, we can just go to the day that the Alameda Research balance sheet was leaked. It's on Dylan Leclerc's.
This is so think about this. If you own a company, you have cash that you can use to buy other companies. Companies grow two ways, organically and by purchasing other companies. So you have all this capital, you understand this, and you're like, oh, this is perfect. And this is probably not what he was thinking. He was probably honest, trying to I don't want 2.0 Luna here with my Alameda, that data coming out. So CZ's like, let me get rid of this $2.1 billion of FTT because this is a little sketch. This is a little bit too much risk to be on our balance sheet. Yeah.
Centralized exchanges don't
work. Think about this from a business standpoint, though. When I want to buy another company, when I want to do anything related to that, what do you want? A good deal. We want a 1 cent hex, right? How do you do that? By selling 2.1 billion of your competitor, that drives down the price at they're like just got hit, right? Think of fighting. You like UFC. Somebody just got drilled. They're getting back up, but their knees are a little wobbly. And that's when you take the axe to their fucking knee and destroy them. And that's literally.
And he made a marketing move within the whole thing for the positive for him, because now guys like me are like, yeah, someone needs to step up. Thanks, someone's knocking someone's head around in here. Like Vitalik's not going to do it. He's too busy building. So someone else needs to powerhouse through here. That's not a complete communist. And let's be honest. SBF was 10 times worse than that dude. He did not want any kind of cake V2 up in your face. None of that. No cake, no V2. None of your friends making nothing on nothing. You can make a lot of money on cake. So if you want to make a lot of money right now, CZ makes that possible for you. And SBF makes that actually impossible for you. And you actually lose all your money the second you send it to them. Because basically, and I said this the day before, there is no trading volume on there. It is all their money. Because in a bear market, no one uses centralized exchanges because you actually have to be mentally ill to keep your money on a centralized exchange during a brutal bear market, knowing that they're all bullshitters.
Well, there's no utility. So when you have a token where there's no utility, if you look at DEX Screener and you pull up the liquidity we have, looking at it right now, the top 4 or 5 pools, we have about $1.4 million of liquidity across 4 pools. Come on. For FTT. So FTT is
everyone's out probably. That's just holding it up so people can at least feel like they could take a big
that's less than Hedron. That's less liquidity.
Sure. That's a $50,000 sell max. Even with a 50K sell, it's probably slippage probably 100%. They probably changed the range. I don't know how they manipulate that shit, but it doesn't matter. Everyone in the community called Terra Luna the scam because why? It was legitimately a scam. Everyone called Celsius a scam. Why? Because it was legitimately a scam. Everyone called SBF a scam artist that knew about this shit pretty good. And guess what? It's going to zero. It's gone. It's going to be a different name. It's going to have nothing to do with anything anymore. Because when these things halt your funds, no one will use, because there's options. You go to MEXC, MEXC guys will chat with you in a Twitter space. You know what I'm saying? Like SBF is too busy chatting with what's her F over in California, Mrs. Cortez. That's probably the girl he likes the most. That's probably his little crush. Like, you see what I'm saying here, though? Like,
imagine those two.
Ridiculous, because it's a bunch of dorks, and I can see it because I'm like, these guys have to have blind spots. Like, there's no way his fro and all this bull ass, like, he has blind spots. Yeah, he does have blind spots. I promise you, CZ just nuked him. So, and CZ's locked in like a laser beam. Let's play this.
That's
my brother.
I know things are going very well at the school. I'll see you when I'm back. Miles, thank you, brother. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, bro.
I've never had anything like that happen to me before. I can tell you that, man. And that basically has led to the markets being bullish again. Because if you look at the NASDAQ, so if we could just go to the US Tech 100, which is the NASDAQ futures, incredible movements. But if I take the BNB versus BTC chart. Now, Miles, watch this. So this will blow this will absolutely blow your mind, okay? So I'm going to take the chart from this point over here, and I'm going to move it up to here. And if you look at the performance of BNB relative to BTC, you would have 26,919 more, 26,000% return above the Bitcoin return. You take any time period you like. Take any time period you like. And BNB has performed better than BTC. Like crazy. I mean, even let's just take.
That's like not even true at all. Like that he read that off. It's true. Like the first thing he said was kind of true, but then the second thing he said made me realize he knows nothing about that actual statistic. Because it's like, the truth is, there was times in BTC's history where he said you could put it up to any time chart. I'm like, there's times in BTC's history where it did 1,000x in 3 weeks. So this dude can absolutely F off. And these guys, you can tell they're not super familiar with this kind of price action. Like, and I'm not saying they don't get super gains, but like them identifying this is not like their prime understanding point, because it's probably sketchy. But like, what do we know in the Hex community? We know all about nuclear pumps. And we know why it kind of happens. And we know why people should capitalize on them and how to not capitalize on them. So this to me is like classic. Look at them trying to like get those BNB numbers together. I'm like, dude, BNB. Like if you bought BNB day one, you're retired every time. And if you bought Bitcoin day one, you're retired every time. And if you bought ETH day one, you're retired every time. So fine, let's get day one ETH, okay? And I should have a Zen cut screen. But anyway, let's play this just a little bit more. This BNB price action is making my heart race and my blood pressure get intense, because I've been playing a little bit more in the BNB chain. So I have a little more spare change over there, and it's getting hot in here. So I'm going to play this video real quick, take a breather, get my water, guys. If you have something you want to comment, please put it in the chat. Let everyone know we're in here. We're going to be live for another 10, 15, 20 minutes. Get your likes up. We're going hard. And I got some stuff for the end, so don't you miss out. We got a couple things for the end. It's going to be fun. So just keep us 25 minutes. Let's get it.
This year, okay?
And that's why you never take profits. You never, ever, ever take profits on BNB. Let me just show you this. So let's go to here.
And
what did he
just take
this?
Never ever take profits.
Just go to here.
Did he just tell me to never ever take profits on my BNB? That's weird.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest actual. Like, you can tell they just don't really like. Why? Like, dude, if you just made $100,000, like take 10%. That's a nice little day.
Correct.
Like, you don't.
And that doesn't. But that also, you got they
buy it back tomorrow when it's 46% lower or whatever the hell happens. Like, it's like BNB hasn't moved as dramatically as he's kind of making it seem. It's just never really moved down. It's kind of what it has a, you know, ebbs and flows, but for the most part, it's trended up the entire time. And that's kind of the thing that's different about it, because it's been propped up by CZ the whole time. But CZ's proven to be at least transparent with his human flesh and like be there talking to everyone, like being like, came at that dude sideways, ran him down the street. Like, it's pretty cool. If I'm a CZ fan, I'm having a nice beer and like saying what's up to my boys, pumped about that. If it's a football team, you're like, yeah, CZ.
And even this year, BNB's outperformed Bitcoin by 86%. Just this year. Just this year. And 26,000% if you look at it across all time. That's not something you sell. That's something you keep buying. Because there's no weakness.
I actually did a deep dive on this, I think in August, 2 months ago, and I pointed that out. It was the relative strength to the rest of the market was one of the reasons why I was backing BNB, and I mean, just today it proved itself true once again. So very happy about that. Very happy.
Unbelievable. Listen, guys, my head is spinning. I'm just checking our research group to see
I see Sheldino. I don't know if he's joining, but yeah, I could say he's not on, but he's chilling. I don't know if he's gonna come on.
Sheldino!
Yeah.
What the fuck just happened, bro?
Wow.
No, not cool.
Wow.
What's happening, kids? Are we in the airport? What's
we're at the airport. We're next to McDonald's.
What?
Are you good on this? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
He's not as good when it's not produced.
Say hi to Alan real quick from earlier.
Hey, Alan. Alan Fizz, if you do not pay attention and learn now and capitalize on these opportunities, you will be left behind. One last great bull run. I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. And I don't necessarily think it'll be the last great bull run, but remember, it takes extreme negative downward pressure for periods of time to have insane bull runs. They're directly proportional. So when you're in a time of crisis, when you're in a time of long-term disturbing, you can just put your vacation bags on for later and just drive your Honda 2004 stick and just get busy, because you know the future already. That's how money cannot be destroyed as far as like the circulating value. Like, it's moving, guys. People spend money, people move money. The money moves. It will, if it's been moving down this long, it will proportionally move up, not straight up, but over a different amount of time up to the right, the same proportions, you know, as far as downtime. So it's important to understand that, though. It's like negative times are necessary for you to make stupid gains, and crypto's all about, that's where everyone throws their bullshit. They're like, F those guys, let's go down there. And it creates all that bull crap, and there's not enough liquidity. So it kind of just, it's just math. It just nukes it because there's not that much money in it. But then you just buy it back because it has product market fit. It stays alive because it has somebody clicking on it. Somebody wants to go to the BNBP wheel and spin it. It has something to bring someone there. And that's why I'm so attached to that gambling use case. Not because I really want to promote anything about gambling. I haven't seen too much in crypto that really grabs a guy by the chest and says, hey, and I'm not saying it's good. It's wrong. It's really not. Gambling is not good. Frankly, I don't think so. Unless you're getting a smoking premium on some sort of amplifier. But anyway, so Sam, I want you to talk for a minute. I want to know what you're thinking. We see CZ, we see he buys FTX or nukes it or whatever. What are you seeing? What do you see in your history? Dude, you've been through a bear. Like a real, like 2008 kind of shit, right?
I remember 2008, and as this was all taking place, I went from saving about 5% to saving over 20%, because I understood that during a bear market, it's the best buying opportunity. And we were going through it. So I was like, oh, perfect. This is fantastic. And I just kept increasing the amount that I was buying to DCA. If you're like in this time right now and you're like feeling some sort of way, you're feeling excited, you're feeling down because your bag's down 90%. If you take a long-term approach and you just go through and continue to DCA, recognize that your bags can go down another 70% from here. 80% from here, 90% from here. But remember, if you just think slightly longer term and you continue to DCA over a long period of time and you stay in the market, you will be fine. You have to buy assets that are not going to go away, right? So Ethereum's not going away.
And that's what I talked about, that it has to have something. I'm buying ETH for gas. Quick note on ETH for gas. This is huge. If in the next couple of months you want to make a trade or a transaction or a swap or anything on Ethereum, it's tricky. This is tricky because you have to have Ethereum, right? Let's say that there's 50% downward pressure on Ethereum. Sam, you really do still have to buy Ethereum. Why? Because you need to have at least 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 in the tank. Trust me, if you do not have $100 or $150 of Ethereum on any active trading account, you're not even going to be able to trade when it comes to get serious. Not even once. And you're going to be like, this is the biggest move in my life. And you're going to be like, whoops, I got to go to Coinbase. Oh, whoops, the transactions are 1,500 confirmation now because people are jamming it. Whoops. So you're wrecked. You didn't make that play. It's already recovered. You saw what happens when Hex does a big move, comes right back up. You missed it. I watched it and I still missed it. Sam, I literally was like, oh my God, what the hell was that? And then I still kind of missed it. It was like, I didn't want to leave the show either. Start being a weirdo, but guess what? Another opportunity came about 3 hours later where it actually dipped into the same zone. So guys, it's critical that you do not over leverage your lives and positions. What do you got for me, Bullish? Get me on track.
I was just gonna add to what you're saying and what Alan was saying is this is why it's important to be prepared, have your limit orders ready, have them set up so you can take advantage of these opportunities.
Tell people how to do that.
So you can do 1 inch, you can do Matcha, they both support limit orders. So I actually had a limit order because my last big Hex purchase was around the 0.29 mark. So I already had a limit order sitting there for the 0.24 mark. And yesterday it hit. It's been sitting there. And I've been renewing it. Because I already knew if I'm make a big purchase, it has to be below what I purchased last time.
I want half penny.
So just to add to what you guys are saying about being prepared, have your limit orders right. Learn how to use one.
Token. Don't under limit order yourself too, because people do that sometimes too. That's why I always just mention, don't over leverage a certain single transaction. It's not really about a position. I don't care if you have an over leveraged position on Hedron, but I hope you didn't buy all of that with one transaction in one moment. And then you have to deal with the consequences of that exact price chart for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
it's why can't I DCA on the way back down if it nukes?
I was with you yesterday when it happened, and the first thing that came to mind was oh yeah, I'm good because I have some LP set up, which lets me accumulate Hex. So I was I'm good on that end. Whoever's dumping just gave me more Hex. I was great. And I was oh, I got the alert. And I was oh shit, limit order got fulfilled. This is great.
Where do you use Matcha for that?
I use Matcha, yeah, because for whatever reason, 1 inch doesn't work for me. But Matcha has been working for me, and I know some people who just only use 1 inch and it works for them. So,
and there's probably going to be more of those buying opportunities, especially if this continues to fire up with FTX and Binance and Alameda if they go away completely, right? And they have to be liquidated or sold to another company. This could present more buying opportunities. So if you have limit order, if you want to buy Hex, so you can set up a limit order through Matcha that sits there for a week. So that means you go to Matcha, connect your wallet, you set up a limit order to buy it at 1 cent or whatever you want to buy it at, and you can have that fulfilled even while you're at work or sleeping or do whatever. Next time that there's a big drop, it should automatically get fulfilled for you, and then you can be buying at these giant discounts.
But just like buying, Sam, I trust you to do that. I would be oh yeah, he's not gonna do something stupid. He's just gonna buy some at that price probably and just see what happens after. But some people, just because you get a good deal within one moment, the whole part about crypto that I'm trying to tell people is you always have to have offensive power. You can never be on the defense with crypto. it's like, and other assets probably not like that. Like you can be on the offense with Bitcoin a little bit. You can be like, I probably only lose half my bag max. Okay, fair, I guess, like in crypto. But when it comes to doing a $7,600 buy and losing 50% of that in 1 minute, that you can't outpace on feet. But you know what I can outpace on feet? Buying 20 million Zen for $56, buying $136 worth of Hedron at the bottom and not really buying any more of that. You see how I let it just like, I don't rely on any moment to make me money. I rely on my decision making over my 10x Hedron stakes. My Icosa pool comes out in 96 or 130 days or whatever. I don't know. And then my Hex stakes ladder that I kind of have for like 2 to 5 years is like still in play, you know? And then you have a little bit of Ethereum. But like I moved out of that Ethereum position because I started getting sketched out. I just moved into USDC. I was like, I need USDC right now, dude. If this thing goes 50% down, I'm going to be nuclear mad. I don't want to be mad. I don't like being mad. I want to be happy. You know why? With a big fat bag of USDC, you can do $136 buy when you're scratching your ass when Hedron gets oversold for whatever reason on that day. You can have, but everyone like tightens their positions. And then it's like, dude, keep 10% of each of your positions to be a little bit fluid. But 90% of that, like if you're smart, like sometimes I don't do this. PLSD, I nuked all of that, bro. That was stupid. Not saying it's doing good. I have no idea. But like I shouldn't have nuked the whole thing. I nuked the whole thing. Like I could have just
so many opportunities. Like
it's cool now that I think about it. If it was me, I would have loved to keep 50% of it, keep learning and having a good time with it. Like I really wish I did that, but do I really care? No. Okay, so because I could just buy it back, but it's kind of principle at some point. You're like, I sold the damn thing, you know. Like if I want to eat that to the face if that thing goes to $1,000 a coin. I want to smoke that for dinner because I need that if that happens. Anyway, Sam, I don't want to hold you much longer. There's a lot of stuff going on, but what's the most important point that you want the users that are listening to understand? Like while they go on with the rest of their day, maybe checking their computers out, moving around in crypto, just like as far as like cool safety concern, what your kind of approach would be for if you were the average just investor in a time like this.
The thing that I want to say is that life is tremendously abundant. I've never once seen the person who was willing to put in the work, like with their diet every single day, who's willing to do cardio every single day, who's willing to work out every single day, not achieve their fitness goals. The same thing goes with any aspect of your life. Life is tremendously abundant and will give you whatever you're willing to work for. So with that, put in the work every day and you'll feel more fulfilled, whether that's in your relationship, getting your finance together, building an empire, anything in life, put in the work every single day towards achieving those goals. Life is tremendously abundant. Don't get distracted by the BS out there. Market's down 90%. Cool. You have work to do every morning when you wake up. Do your work, accomplish more, do more in life. And then life will be completely abundant. You'll be able to achieve whatever your dreams are if you show up every single day and you put in the work. I don't know one person.
And you tell people what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like if someone asks you, you can't like just be lying about all your shit. Like that's not going to be productive for a long-term mindset. You have to be super honest with your family. And I mean, if you don't have to talk to them necessarily, but like if that's a part of your life, like you can't just be, I'm telling you, I tried to do that. Sam watched me try to be successful while I lied to people. And I wasn't lying, stealing money. I wasn't lying. I was lying because I wasn't being honest about who I was to them when I was working, and it was holding me back. But I thought I could get away with it. You know, I thought I could just do whatever I wanted, have non-transparency in my life. But and then I worried until I told everyone everything. I had nothing. There's nothing. Like until I told someone everything, and then, yeah, granted, I didn't do anything like super weird. So like, if you did something like, I don't like, go tell someone right away. If you're gonna get arrested for something, I'd probably keep it to yourself, frankly. But seriously, for me in particular, I was just holding some stuff back in my life. I wanted to be the person that I was, and I was willing to be by myself for the rest of my life if I had to be. And I used to not be. But anyway, before we go, I want to look at Twitter real quick just to run through here, make sure we're not missing anything. First thing pops up, Rackham Rishel. The SEC previously ruled ETH, Ethereum, not being a security, did it not? Why would the story change with Richard Hart forking it PLS, PLSX? I know there is a speculation on ETH 2.0 does not satisfy all the criteria of the Howey test double standard crypto. I don't know how to respond to that one. Oh yeah, LBRY. So guys, you guys know Odyssey. So Odyssey is a streaming platform that is decentralized and it has a cryptocurrency attached to it. That would be LBRY, would be that cryptocurrency. So the full ruling in the SEC versus LBRY case can be read here. The language used here sets extraordinary dangerous precedent that make every cryptocurrency in the U.S. a security, including Ethereum. So can you scroll down on that? Yeah. So you can. Do you want to?
I'll share this link and maybe we'll touch on.
You want to talk about that for a second? Like, can you just give me
Yeah, I'll give my thoughts on it. I think this is more specific to people in the States. So if you're in the United States, you should be paying close attention to this because there's been a bunch of stuff going on with the SEC versus Ripple that was like a week ago. With what happened with this particular case that basically supersedes that, and now the SEC can go back and fight it again based on the ruling and the language used in this case. If anyone understands the law, this president said, so if there's a newer case that comes out after that, lawyers are now allowed to use that as president to start arguing their stuff. So if you're in the United States and you care about crypto, pay attention to this. We'll probably touch on this more tomorrow, but I'm going to drop the link so you guys can read it. It's the full ruling and judgment. This is something that if you're specifically in the United States, you should pay attention to this.
And before I jump off, because CZ just tweeted one more time, literally 30 seconds ago. He's on a roll. He's my guy. Look at him, looking a little bit ripped here. I'd speculate a little TRT, HG. Look at his little horns. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's go. I wouldn't hate on that either. Forbes. CZ is unlikely to win Mr. Congeniality in 2022. What is that word?
Congeniality.
Prize. In June, he launched a race to zero in spot Bitcoin trading that basically starving them of revenue, and many became insolvent. Now has actively feared the doubts of its biggest competitor, FTX. Exactly what FTX was doing. A Forbes study of exchange revenue finds that Binance finances are under considerable stress. The urgent look at him. He's just like, oh my God. He is the GOAT right now, bro. Dude, come on. I didn't even read the text. He's laughing at him, bro.
He in an interview that I listened to with CZ, he goes on to say that you have to be prepared for 90% drops in the market, and that Binance is prepared, that from his definition of prepared is 10 years of expenses. 10 years. I think Binance is perfectly fine. I said this on a previous show 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months ago. Like, I think Binance is completely prepared, and clearly CZ making fun of Forbes. Forbes is in like the pocket of Sam Bankman. They're not like clearly by the article.
A half-ass slander article, dude. That was so weak that it made me want to not do push-ups.
I'm not gonna lie. Twitter has been very entertaining between all this crypto drama and Elon Musk. Like between both of them, Twitter has been super entertaining.
We got our eye on you though, Richard. You ain't hiding from anyone. I'm your biggest watcher, so you remember that. I'm watching. Well, come on, make a statement, man. Come out, say something. Obviously, if there's some problems in the background, I would totally get that. Why you can't just come out and say a bunch of shit. But at the same time, you used to say a lot of shit. And it was cool. So that was awesome. And we would love to know about Bitcoin and Ethereum. But again, I'm sure everything he does is an SEC violation as far as pooping or peeing or going to his bedroom and sitting in his bed. I'm sure if he says one word, it has some implication that could waver someone somewhere to make a financial decision, and they could probably wiggle it down to basically your words.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Exactly. And I hate to say it. It sucks. It sucks.
First of all, they'll try to censor you, right? They're going to try to censor that side if they don't like what you're saying. Then they will go through and change the rules so that what you're saying is illegal to try to put you in jail or behind bars, right? And then we know what happens, right? It's called Epstein. You Epstein yourself. Like we all understand what that means, right? So censorship.
That in a cell there's no cameras, and that somehow you, without any real documentation or footage, you pass away. And
by yourself, by your own doing, like you're choosing to pass away, yeah.
Or not, or there's no camera and someone else does it.
Yep.
They call that where I'm from a good old rodeo. Just kidding. That was really, I don't know if that was offensive, but just don't take it like that. So guys, we're gonna get off. So I'm gonna ask Sam right now, but I don't know if he can. I'm gonna come back on at 5:30 p.m. EST. So I'm going to come back on at 5:30 p.m. EST. We'll probably have a different front headline by then, and the prices will be 300% in a different direction. So we'll see what's going on at 5:30 p.m. Sam, if you want to join me, I'll add you to that. I'm going to try to get someone on here who's an expert on the macro, who's down. That's what I'm doing all day. I have to get lunch with my mom the whole time. Boom, find someone. Come on later with me. GRC wants to talk. Too many opportunities to catch yourself slipping. I didn't even want to get lunch with my mom, but sometimes you got to slip. But anyway, good to see you, Sam. If you want to come on later, just text me, and I'm going to get a super cool guest, guys. So be ready. Hit the notifications, hit the like. Make sure you go over to the CITMcast.com channel so you can subscribe over there. Once we get to 1,000, we're doing a giveaway. There's a tweet. I will tweet it when the song's going on. So if you go to the tweet that I tweet, you are in the giveaway. And Bullish is giving away like 600 grand. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. I'm giving away some stuff. Bullish giving away some stuff. We're going to have fun with it. I'm going to think about it because there's like a little bit of time there. But one person, whoever retweets that's getting it. I'll put it during the song. Everyone having a great idea. Blah, 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 blah. Sam, I'll see you later.
Peace out.
CZ. Nice work, bro.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning.